The year is 2020. The popularity of professional wrestling is at an all-time high. Promoters and wrestlers alike are enjoying their biggest profits in years.
Those were the days, man. We were flying. Everybody was getting paid. My boys, they were living like rock stars. Pussy, coke, you name it. Everyone was getting paid. Even the refs were driving around in Ferraris and shit. My name? Quincy Lovejoy. That's who I am. I built Trauma City Wrestling Association. I ran it for 18 years. Business was an all-time high. We were never coming down. We thought it would never end.
I was making great money working for Trauma City. Things were looking real nice. Things have finally taken a turn for the better. My name is Randy Shipyard, pro wrestler, better known as the Trauma City Stomper. I've been a pro wrestler for 12 years, and I ain't never seen things this good. Gosh darn virus came and messed everything up. I went from BMW to BMX real quick.
The coronavirus pandemic ravages through the entire world within months. Millions of people die, and promoters are left wondering about the future of the business.
We lost a lot of good people. I lost a lot of good friends. We lost a lot of fucking assholes too, but who really gives a shit about that?
Organizations begin promoting wrestling shows without a live audience to curb the spread of the virus. But the shows are not the same.
Once I saw the big boys, they started having some of these fucking events in empty arenas, I knew we were fucked. How could we do that shit? I spent over 40 years building this business, $1 million business, but it was all gone. Everything lost to that fucking virus.
You know, the virus, it changed everything in the wrestling business. We went from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows in just a matter of weeks. I am Blaine Weltzer, wrestling historian and the editor of the Wrestling Observationalist. All of the major wrestling promotions went belly up. This virus killed the professional wrestling business as we know it. And then walks in this felon. He just takes over the wrestling business like that.
In the following months, an unknown promoter would walk out of the shadows and change the wrestling business forever.
Yeah, I heard through the grapevine that there was this new event, new show coming to town. I didn't really believe it at first. They said this guy was a criminal, drug dealer, like we didn't know any of them.
A notorious drug dealer named Freddie G steps into the spotlight and puts together the most violent show ever seen. He streams his brutal vision of violence and mayhem
New dad!
to the masses every Friday night.
That's when I started working for Freddie G. Guy seemed like kind of a loose cannon, a little crazy. Freddie said he'd pay me $500. After the match, I went up to him and I found him and he gave me $20 and a big go fuck yourself.
The first match I ever watched was a loser eats a plate of dog shit. And I was like, yep, you have my attention. I mean, you knew these guys weren't your regular wrestling talent. There were no refs. There was no venue. The wrestling was unpolished. It was, amateur at best.
When I first watched this Trauma Pro Wrestling, I couldn't believe my eyes. It's not fucking wrestling, that's a fucking massacre.
What seemed like a wrestling show turned into more like, like a fight club. They were killing each other. It was hard to watch.
Freddie G promotes fights to the death, but disguises it as professional wrestling. Bloodthirsty fans from around the globe tune in each week to consume this new world entertainment. From 785-foot scaffold matches to the infamous hepatitis on a pole match.
Somebody's leaving town with hepatitis.
Freddie G pushes the envelope like no other.
This show was a literal human rights violation from the start. And the fans? They were eating it up.
In less than a year, Trauma Pro Wrestling begins generating millions of dollars. But concerns start to arise from the community.
Hi, I'm Devlin Fitch, and I'm a reporter for Trauma City Today. I've been a wrestling fan for over 30 years. When all the wrestling shows closed their doors, we were all really bummed out as fans. So when we heard this new show was coming to town, we were beyond excited. But right off the bat, you could tell something was wrong. These people were not wrestling. They were killing each other. So I went to Trauma City Police and I told them there's a guy named Freddie G killing people on the slums of the West Side. But they threw me up against the wall. They beat the shit out of me. And that night, I spent in a Trauma City jail cell. No food. No phone call. Freddie G is a really powerful man in this town. That's all I'm going to say on the record. If I say too much, I disappear.
When I first heard of Mr. G's wrestling show, I was shocked. Frankly, I was appalled. Here's a guy who's taking advantage of the poor people of Trauma City. I am City Councilor Steven Schithel, and I've made it my duty to put an end to Trauma Pro Wrestling and put Freddie G behind bars where he belongs. The people of Trauma City struggle enough, and then when this virus hit, most of them lost everything. Jobs, homes, family members. Mr. G owns countless properties in Trauma City's West Side. This is where he films his wrestling shows, and let's be honest, these are not wrestling shows. These are atrocities. Rumors are he could have upwards of 200 bodies buried across Trauma City. This man is killing members of his own community for his own financial gain.
That guy's a fucking crook. That's why only scumbags like David Backlund will work for him. Fuck you, David Backlund.
And giving the spotlight to guys like Davey Backlund. And I mean, that guy's a piece of shit.
Guys like David Backlund, that fucking guy hadn't been booked for years. Freddie G brings him in like he's the next greatest thing and always has been. The guy's a piece of shit. Fuck, biggest piece of shit on this planet, and I've seen a whole lot of shit.
Scumbags like David Backlund, like, this man does not deserve a platform to spread his hate. Besides, that guy's a piece of shit.
David Backlund's a fucking superstar on this internet wrestling show, right? Everybody wants a piece of this David Backlund dick. I'm David Backlund, aka the disgrace from the crawl space, aka the wild turkey, aka all them girls won't suck it. I've been banned from about every fucking venue I've ever competed in, mostly for setting fires or whipping my dick out, you know, shit like that. Then Freddie G done fucking brought wrestling back into my life, man. Changed the game. Freddie G done did a fucking DIY renovation of the wrestling business. And you know what? The place has never looked this good. Nah, Freddie G don't fucking force these bitches into the ring. These motherfuckers is broke. They need a job. What, you don't fucking think I ain't gonna rip your dick off?
Trauma Pro Wrestling is a disgrace to everything that this city stands for. Freddie G, mark my words, Steven Schithel is coming for you, and he's coming hard. Wait.
You think a bunch of fucking city council gonna stop us from doing what we do? You think fucking Stevie fucking shithole gonna stop me? Ain't gonna happen. Who is this fucking guy on the lights? Tell him to shut his goddamn mouth before I fucking snap.
Of course the police are in on it, 100%. They fucking just went through a contract and got hosed. Wouldn't take much for Freddie to top him up, and they do whatever he wants. Come on, that's the way this place runs. I shouldn't even be telling you guys this shit.
Then he hooks up with the Tenderfellows, which is the richest and most powerful family there is. And at this point, Freddie G is, you know, he's absolutely unstoppable.
Freddie G is a wonderful man. I've worked for him for years.
What about the rumors of you being a male prostitute who's been blackmailed into working for these guys?
Can we take 5? My name is Gerp Dermont, and I produce the greatest wrestling show the Earth has ever seen. Trauma City was hit so very hard during the pandemic. But then Freddie G came in, and he saved the town. With Freddie G and Blarf Robotics, we were able to rebuild. Now a lot of rumors are being thrown around about us. That people are getting murdered at these shows. It's wrestling. It's fake. Remember? It's just a show, folks. And as brutally real as it may seem from time to time, it's just pure, wholesome entertainment. Just subscribe to see what we're talking about. You'll be glad that you did.
It's all a scam, man. Freddie G's just taking advantage of these poor people. And he doesn't have, nobody's there to come in and say enough is enough. Somebody's got to stop this.
You know, as much as I hate the product and what it stands for, and, you know, it could quite possibly be the true end of the professional wrestling business, Trauma Pro Wrestling is here to stay.
If it weren't for Freddie G and Bluff Robotics, this city would be in ruins.
Dude, the city is in ruins and it's all Freddie G's fault.
Can we take 5?
What star rating would I give Trauma Pro Wrestling? Trauma Pro Wrestling doesn't deserve a star rating because all of their stars have gone supernova and have destroyed the universe.
Like it or not, this is the era of Trauma Pro Wrestling.
If you have any information about Freddie G or Trauma Pro Wrestling that could help us in our investigations, please do not hesitate. Call the number on your screen.